I love seltzer. Howdy, everyone. Do you like Legos? Do you like Star Wars? Well, there's a good chance that you're playing Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. It generally covers all 9 of the mainline films, condensing them in a comedic retelling. Personally, I have a love-hate relationship with both franchises. Lego Star Wars 2: The Original Trilogy was my introduction to both the Lego games and to Star Wars. Well, actually, my introduction to Star Wars was technically Thumb Wars, aired on Cartoon Network. But let's go back to Lego Star Wars 2 for a bit. The 2005 title was a pretty solid, yet kinda repetitive experience. I tried out a bunch of other Lego games throughout the years, but I found them all to get repetitive after a few hours as well. And they got pretty cringy as well when voice acting was added. Overall, I was just burnt out on Lego games. On top of that, I'm burnt out on the Star Wars franchise as well. Ever since Disney bought Lucasfilm, it's been a mixed bag. Though Mandalorian and Jedi Fallen Order are pretty good. But the less said about the movies, especially Han Solo, the better, in my opinion. Then in 2019, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga was unveiled. Nearly 3 years and a crap ton of crunch later, the game was released. I didn't follow any of the marketing due to just being tired of both franchises. I actually debated whether I would even buy the game. Like, my backlog is thick. Plus Elden Ring is still a thing. I also still need to finish Ghostwire Tokyo. And then I saw it for like $40 on Green Man Gaming. It looked like my PC could run it. I have a 1050 Ti and 32 gigs of RAM. Screw it. I'll try out the game. YOLO motherfucker! So I started with the original trilogy. They're classics. I started playing, and just like the Lego games, it's full of simple combat, puzzles, and platforming. But here's the thing, I thought the Skywalker Saga was gonna be a remaster of already existing games, with The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker being tacked on. But no, I was wrong. These kind of feel like remakes. This time around, there's an over-the-shoulder camera perspective throughout most of the game, as opposed to the fixed camera from the originals. On top of that, there's a little bit of cover-based third-person shooting throw-in early in the story too. When the Lego games added voice acting, like I said before, it was pretty cringy. Well, at least it was in Lego Marvel Superheroes. Not just because it was, well, terrible, but it took away from the physical humor that the Lego games were known for. Though this time, the voice acting actually kinda works. The voice acting was mostly done by either members of the original cast reprising their roles, or people who just did great impersonations. And also, you get to chop heads off. Nice. Another thing I appreciate is that the iconic score by John Williams is back and plays throughout the game. It does suck that I can't share it here because the copyright police is gonna bonk my ass. But hey, at least I get to hear the Tuscan Raiders make that sound. But soon enough, Obi-Wan shows up.
Hello there.
He said the thing! The Lego games are mainly made for kids, and as a result, there is a lack of difficulty. Don't expect Margit to come out and murder you. I died in Lego Star Wars a handful of times, but it's never punishing. I respawn quickly, the checkpoints are frequent, and I only lose a handful of studs, which is the in-game currency. So I play through more of A New Hope, and by the end, I get to fly the X-Wing, which is a decent change of pace. Because I'm not gonna lie, the game began to already get a bit repetitive less than 2 hours in. But I eventually blow up the Death Star, and we all get to make sure Chewie doesn't get a medal. So up next is The Empire Strikes Back, easily the most iconic of the Star Wars films. And to be honest, the repetitiveness still continues to show. One common gripe I have with not just the Skywalker Saga, but Lego games in general, is how certain moments feel so stretched out. Like this opening where Han is looking for Luke. Though with every overly long and boring section, there's a moment where the game picks up momentum. Like when the AT-ATs show up. So far, the flying segments are the most entertaining parts. Once I get Luke to Dagobah, another new wrench is thrown at me. I got a taste of close combat with this vision of Darth Vader. Like I had to block, dodge, parry, etc. After that, we get more of the cute Lego humor in the Cloud City section of the game. Eventually, we get to Empire's super memorable climax. Luke and Darth Vader are finally facing off. Aside from the crappy camera, I'm loving this. It's a great moment from the films, and it's fun to re-experience it. Though they add this extremely pointless portion where R2 is surrounded by stormtroopers. Even though it's entertaining to have all these guys get their ass kicked by a droid, it can completely be ignored without any consequences. So now, we begin Return of the Jedi's classic opening sequence. We have Han and Leia reunite, and Luke coming into Jabba's palace with that fresh green lightsaber looking like a Jedi badass. Soon enough, the Rancor fight begins. It kinda looks like it has a dick from this angle. But we keep going. Boba Fett has his fake death, which led to his spin-off show that I have zero motivation to watch. But after being done with Jabba's palace, we continue on with the story. I like how Luke has a more realistic reaction to Leia being his sister in this game than he does in the original film. Soon enough, we get into the speeder bike chase. It's fast paced. I love it. I crash into everything like I'm SpongeBob with a boat. Unfortunately, this is followed by Ewoks. This was a weak moment in Return of the Jedi, and this isn't really the strongest portion of the game either. I'm really just not an Ewok guy. But the original trilogy concludes with a fight with Palpatine. I like how they changed it up a bit, with Luke and Vader fighting the Emperor together, rather than just him getting thrown into a dark abyss. With the original trilogy done, I now have the option of playing through either the prequel or the sequel trilogy. The choice was pretty damn simple. Yeah, trade negotiations.
Wow! It's fun!
So I'm playing through the Phantom Menace, and it isn't long until I run into...
Mr. Jar Jar Binks! Mr. Your humble servant!
Damn it, he's got voice acting now.
There's big race tomorrow on Bunty Eve. You can enter my pod.
And he's got voice acting too. Soon enough, I got to the pod race, and overall, it was a fast-paced and fun part to play through. But after that, we got more trade negotiations.
Oh my god, it's fun!
But the more I played of the game, I begun to notice more and more of the detail put into the production value. Like, notice the dirt and the roughness on all these Lego figurines. You finally get to the best part of the Phantom Menace, the Darth Maul fight. They're even playing Duel of the Fates. But after that, I got to play this Jar Jar. But I at least get to see him knock a dude out. After one last flight sequence, the Phantom Menace is complete, and now it's time to get to Attack of the Clones. We got Jesus, not just Jesus, but Jesus with voice acting. You don't see the Bible have voice acting. I'm playing through the story, and it's pretty okay so far. The Jango Fett fight was pretty fun though, but the flight sequence right after it wasn't. It involved trying to look for Jango's ship up in space. This dragged on for a bit too much. Once I finally got through that, I got to see Anakin suffer. But hey, the Tuscan Raiders return. Yes, to walk through sand. Yeah, I know you don't like sand. Go suffer, Anakin. Soon enough, I reached the Droid Factory, and this is easily the toughest thing to get through in this entire game, so far. The reason for this are the awful frame rate drops. This is nearly unplayable. It was so bad that I needed to take a break. Has there ever been a part of a game that was so terrible that you needed to step outside, go for a walk, grab some tea before going back to it? Hell, maybe I'll even catch a movie while I'm at it. Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? It's pretty badass. I'm not even sponsored by A24 or anything like that. To be honest, I was just looking for a way to give this film a shout out because I just love it that much. Where was I? Oh yeah. The frame rate drops in the Droid Factory are still awful. I hope this gets patched up soon. Oh yeah, and I got to witness Anakin be a Karen.
Hey, I want to speak to your manager.
Alright, so I finally got through this grind of a level. The rest of Attack of the Clones was pretty decent, but now it's time to get to the best part of the prequel trilogy. Yep, it's time for Revenge of the Sith, the source of many memes, and Obi-Wan looking more and more like Jesus with voice acting. Fucking talk!
Hello there.
Oh shit, he said the thing again. But overall, Revenge of the Sith was a blast. It actually flew by fast, and it was a nice film to revisit. Now all that's left is the sequel trilogy. Will I ever get to it? To be honest, I have very little motivation to play it. Like, the three recent movies have a lot of good and a lot of bad. Mostly bad, to be honest. Overall, I'm not the biggest fan of them, and there are so many other games I would rather play. But with that said, there's so much to do in this game. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is a game that is simple to play, but takes forever to beat. Every area here can be revisited via free play. There are so many locations that you can just explore. Over 20 planets, 100 vehicles, and 300 characters. I think that's a rough estimate. There is so much fucking content, and it honestly looks like a grind. I didn't even have time to play around with the upgrade system, but is any of it worth doing? If you're a fan of Star Wars or Legos, then maybe, yeah, this game will keep you busy for a long time. It's a flawed, but heavily detailed celebration of the franchise. I'd say that it's worth trying out in a few months when it's cheaper and possibly patched up. But personally, I'd rather keep moving on to other games. Though I am interested in seeing what the future of Traveler's Tales will be. Of course, I hope there will be a lot less crunch, but with how significantly different the Skywalker Saga is, I also kind of want to know what other franchises will get the LEGO treatment. There could be a new LEGO Avengers game that could cover Phase 3 and 4. Maybe a new LEGO Batman adapting the newest movie. You know, the one with the song, the one that goes, "Something's in my ass." That one? It's pretty good. Or even LEGO Fast and Furious. There's like 10 of them, plus a spin-off. Like, that game is gonna be family-sized. And while we're at it, let's have LEGO Jackass. Actually, let's just have a LEGO A24, where a bunch of random films get adapted. Imagine Everything Everywhere All at Once getting an adaptation, complete with dildo nunchucks. Actually, no, that's a bad idea. Never mind.